There's a massive shift happening right now that is shaking the very foundation of how we think about government in Africa. We've been told for decades that the Western way is the only way, but the voices of the people, especially our Gen Z brothers and sisters, are growing louder.
The Real Casa Show.
And they are asking the hard questions. In Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has officially fired the concept of Western democracy. He's fired it completely. While we've been busy holding expensive elections and following foreign rules, terrorists were taking over the land. Traoré is making a bold choice: security over the ballot box. In January 2026, the Burkina Faso government took a massive step. They officially dissolved all political parties, putting elections on hold and suspending all political activities. Now, fast forward 3 months later, Traoré publicly squashed the whole idea of democracy, marking the first anniversary of this shift on Friday, the 3rd of April, 2026. Traoré proclaimed the nation is in a more progressive popular revolution, a move focused on national sovereignty and security rather than Western-style democracy. He argues that the Western style of government has failed Africa because it creates societal disorder and leaves the gate wide open for our enemies. Instead of waiting for a vote that might never bring peace, he's launching a 2026-2030 recovery plan focused on two things: military strength and local sovereignty. Traoré isn't calling this a coup anymore. He calls it a progressive popular revolution. This idea, to be honest, is really contagious. If Traoré actually manages to push back the insurgents and feed his people without a single Western-style election, every other African nation is going to notice and may actually potentially follow along. We are watching a total rejection of the post-colonial system. It's a message to the West: your way didn't work for us, so we are trying ours. Right? We have to ask the question that millions are whispering in the markets, but are too afraid to say out loud. Is a free vote more important than a safe life? That's like the real question, right? For too long, democracy in Africa has been a mask. Leaders use it to please the West and get those foreign handshakes and deals while their own people are starving and living in fear. We're even too ashamed to wear our own native garments. We even go for meetings in the UN wearing suit and tie, which there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but rather than our own traditional wear, being proud, taking pride in our traditions and our culture. So basically Traoré is just making the argument that if the democratic system can't keep a mother safe in their own home or a farmer safe in his field, then that system is broken and needs to basically go. And to be honest with you, I agree. Democracy does not work in Africa. I'm gonna be honest, democracy kind of does not work in Africa. For decades, we've seen the effects of corrupt leadership in the name of democracy. But at the end of the day, we have to really pay attention and realize that it's truly not about democracy, monarchy, theocracy, or dictatorship. It's not about any of those things. It's more about the person in power rather than the type of regime or government system that is being upheld. Even if it is a dictatorship, right? It's about the right dictator who dictates the right thing, who wants a dictator who has a clear agenda, a clear vision to benefit the lives of the people. Democracy truly does not mean better or freedom, right? You want a dictator or you want a person in office who has the right vision, who has the clear views, right? The clear views and knows what he wants to do. Right? So you can have democracy and still end up with indescribable living conditions. You cannot claim to be a sovereign nation while you are following a political script written in Europe or America that doesn't fit our soil, our land.
It's time to consider PayAngel. Use our code Casa, a platform designed by Africans tailored specifically to our unique needs. Gen Z, we need services that get us, and PayAngel does. PayAngel understands our needs, offering the best exchange rates and super fast transactions. Whether you're sending money to family or paying for business, it's all about convenience and trust. Plus, with PayAngel's easy-to-use app, you get more for your money and it's always safe. To experience the best service and value, use our code CASA when downloading and transferring. Remember, use our code CASA now. PayAngel, global payments, local simplicity. If you're looking for some amazing West African cuisines in New Jersey, visit Legit African Touch at 52 Ferry Street, South River, New Jersey. Mama's Secret, only continental dishes, preferably Ghanaian or Nigerian dishes, all in Legit African Touch. Get a feel of the African touch now.
I was in a minor debate with a colleague who once served under the Biden-Harris administration as the chief of staff for the White House press office, right? At a summit I had moderated last summer, 2025. And she had gone on and on and on as to how she wasn't in agreement with the things Traoré was doing in Burkina Faso. And she was essentially speaking down on his success, going on with his, this flawed rhetoric that he's more of a danger to the country and as if he's done nothing for the nation at all. She spoke on how the people who never got a chance to decide or vote if they wanted him in power, as a democratic system works better and is more suitable. And I argued and said that, first off, you can't say he's done nothing for the nation. The man has refined the country's gold, worth almost $18 billion, by the way, dropped French as an official language in the favor of local languages, and restructuring their army to fight off terrorism. Let's not even talk about transforming their healthcare systems to be better. And the best part, the people love him. The people protect him. He is young, he is needed, he is valued by his own people. There's no controversy in the camp. They all know who their leader is. You know what I mean? So these are things that people outside, especially on the Democratic side of American politics, don't want to hear and don't understand. But respectfully, they don't need to understand. It's meant for us to understand, right? As Africans. I don't blame her though. I think, to be honest with you, it's really a limited American government mindset. Something that works for one country does not mean it should work for an entire continent, right? But I guess she has that mentality. I really wish I had gotten more time within that debate because she wasn't ready for what was getting handed to her. I was ready because, sister, come on. She's Nigerian too, by the way. She's a whole Nigerian, has the most Nigerian last name ever. It's unbelievable. But anyway, Traoré is tearing down the foreign altar of Western politics. He's betting everything on the idea that African problems need African solutions, even if those solutions look ugly to the outside world, like this Nigerian American I mentioned. Diaspora and all of Africa. Listen close, right? True leadership isn't about finding a foreign big brother to hide behind or a foreign system to copy. It's about standing on your own feet, standing behind the right thing and what works for you, what works for the people. What do we think? Is it time to bury Western democracy to save African lives? Like, please, people, let me know in the comments. So these are the things that I really want us to pay attention to, right? For over 60 years, Africa has been told that democracy is the only savior. Traoré is claiming this system is a hollow image, a golden calf, right? A golden calf back in the day, promoted as something that looks good, but has no power to stop a bullet or famine or nothing. Spiritually, God is shaking this foundation to show that any system without righteousness and results is just a shell. Let's look at it in the spirit of Esau, right? This is a spiritual transaction where a people feeling starved or safety trade their birthright. In other words, their future voice and standing for a bowl of stew. In other words, immediate security, right? The danger is that once you trade your voice for your safety, you often lose the power to tell the one providing that safety to stop if they become an oppressor. We must stop falling in love with the name of a system and start looking at the fruit of it. If a democracy produces only poverty and ghosts, it's a failure. It is a junta. If a junta, right, produces only safety but silences the soul, it is a prison and also a failure. Africa is at a crossroads where we are realizing that a borrowed suit, no matter how expensive, never fits the man it wasn't made for. This is the trap. History is a loud teacher. Every leader who ever suspended a birthright or has promised, right, it was only a temporary fix or temporary security. But security is a moving target. If we give up our right to speak today to get safety, we may find that tomorrow the only person safe in the country is the man holding that gun or the man holding that power. Now, who owns your voice? These are the things that we must pay attention to. These are the things that we must be more vigilant about. Africans, wake up. Diaspora, wake up. People of God, wake up.